now. Hey now. Good morning, Jason Ross.
Trucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Good morning, Grant Napier.
Oh, boy!
Good morning, Doug Christie. Good morning, Turkey. Good morning, Piggy. Good morning to all of you. Welcome into the drive. Wednesday edition. Just 3 more days left till the weekend, right? Right? Isn't that what it is? No Kings yesterday, no Kings today. No Kings tomorrow. Just us. Kyle
No
Madsen.
Kings tomorrow?
Don't they play Friday?
No, they played
Am I wrong? Do they
tomorrow.
play tomorrow? I'm sorry.
17th.
I told you, no Kings yesterday, no Kings today. Kings tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Kings
I
tomorrow.
totally misheard you. That's my fault.
so
I need to do better.
This is going to be an interesting hour. I'm still mostly asleep.
Perfect.
I woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Excellent.
I'm at this new place.
It's your Airbnb.
Airman displaced. We are displaced. We're at an Airbnb while there is reparations going on at my home.
You are nomadic Dave.
Kind of. I am. I'm a nomad, explorer, rebel as well. That's coffee from here, by the way, that you're hearing me sip, which is terrible. I never drink the coffee here. I bring.
It's not awesome.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's not. I have 2 alarms. I have a clock, radio, the radio alarm, and then I have my phone alarm. But I didn't bring my clock radio alarm, figuring, well, I have my phone. That's just a lot of stuff. We're already bringing everything. Like my daughter brought 17 stuffed animals and like a coupon book to Fry's, and God knows what she brought. So we brought what we needed, but well, apparently I needed to bring my alarm because I just sat up in bed at one point, fresh out of a dream, and it was 5:15.
Oh,
Like, great.
I commend you though for still making it before the show.
Yeah, thank God the last thing I did before I went to sleep last night, because I just felt, and again, remember what I told you about moving into new places. I unpack, I showered, brush the tooth, go to sleep.
Brushed your tooth?
One tooth.
Don't smoke, kids.
But it just screws everything up, man. Like a breakfast, coffee, reading stuff, waking up. So keep your.
It's like trying to run without like stretching and warming up first.
Exactly. Very, 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 very good point, Kyle. It's exactly like that. You could pull something. So keep your finger around the dump button today. I'm not completely awake. I'm just not completely awake.
Do you want to know why I'm completely awake?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Why are you completely awake?
What if that's what you did all day?
Just
I'm like, can I actually make a point about that? No.
Nah. Now, why are you completely awake?
I almost Ronnie Lotted my fingertip last night.
Oh.
Yeah. I was cutting a sweet potato, and I just got too close to it and just right out. Luckily, it's kind of over here to the side.
Yeah.
Of the fingertip and not like directly on the nail or the fingertip itself. But so I had to deal with that last night.
Well, I think your first problem is, why are we cutting a sweet potato?
Because I made. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
I made this really nice coconut vegetable curry that I served over brown rice.
I feel like you're serious, though. Are you serious?
That's what I made. Hey, I'm looking. Hey, you know what? Don't look at me like that.
Somebody texted in saying that's why I have an Apple Watch, is because the buzz on the wrist wakes you up. Well, when do you charge your Apple Watch? I have an Apple Watch, but I charge it at night.
I have a watch as well with an alarm on it that buzzes. Not often enough to wake me up. I need that supplemented with my phone alarm. I charge my watch at night on weekends when I don't need to be up early.
Hold on. My watch basically will be done My watch loses charge after like 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, mine gets me through like a week.
Oh, wow. Not mine. No, 2 days max. It's gone.
Guess your watch just isn't as nice as mine.
Apparently, wow, I'm Kyle. I have a watch that can stay charged all week. Today's going to be a terrible show, Kyle. Really bad. There was no Kings yesterday. There's no Kings today. My life is in total shambles. I have no energy.
I think we need to harness your life being in shambles.
Head kind of hurts a little bit.
Did you allow your daughter to bring her friend over to help her
Not unpack.
decorate
Yeah, well, no.
her new room for 4 days?
Yeah, I went and got my daughter and her friend. And it occurred to me that my wife had all of the clothing and stuff for the kids and for my wife in her car, but wasn't going to be home till 5:30. So her friend came over to help Avery unpack. Absolutely nothing, because I'm the only one that had my stuff there, and I unpacked, and then made fun of the kids.
Did she have homework or anything?
Yeah, she had homework, but that was the other problem. Both kids had homework and could do most of it, but both of them also needed to use the computer in order to finish their homework. So they had to wait until Melissa brought their little computers so they could hook that up, which they couldn't do until after we went to dinner, which we went out to dinner because we weren't going to cook last night.
So her friend swindled a free dinner out of all this.
No, her friend's dad picked her up before we went to the dinner. So they just kind of, but they loved it. They sat around. That one of the TVs has a YouTube on it, so they watched kiddie videos, and that was a huge, huge, huge deal for them.
Awesome.
Huge deal for them.
Very cool.
On top of all of that, it sucks because I can't completely go into this story, although it would make a great radio story. I can't tell all of it. Yeah, I know, and I hate doing that because
is this what we talked about
before the show?
We talked about this.
We've talked about this a little bit.
Okay.
So tomorrow will be my last show for the next week plus. I will be taking my wife out of town. So I will be here today and tomorrow. Friday, the Monday's a holiday. So Friday and then Tuesday through Friday next week, Damien and Jason are nice enough to slide up to the mornings, and we'll be doing a professional version of this time slot. They will be doing that for the next, I will be gone for a grand total of 5 shows, and then back on Monday. What's fun about this trip, and I won't go into too much detail, is that it wasn't going to happen, and then due to things going on, it was going to happen, and everybody was all set, and then I had to tell everybody Monday that it wasn't going to happen, and I think I briefly mentioned that yesterday, and then I found out yesterday that it's going to happen. Like it was a yo-yo for me and for everyone associated with it.
You had a bit and you committed to it.
I wish. I really do, man. I've never been so annoyed at going out of town for, a week plus. And it'll be fine once I'm gone, but until then, on top of everything else that's going on,
right.
Like literally have the clothes that we're taking out of town for a week in a garbage bag at an Airbnb right now that will then need to be, because we're going to be in different climates.
Right.
So they have to be switched out. My wife is writing my parents an opus right now on directions for drop-offs and pickups and clubs and games and different things they have to do.
Hey, you're going to be out of town for the AFC and NFC championship games this weekend. There's a lot of important football happening, and it's time for you to plan your football playoff party treats. And I don't mean just you, Dave. I mean the royal you.
The royal you.
Start at your local Sprouts Farmers Market and Sprouts.com.
One of my favorite bits, Kyle, and this reminded me when you told me what you did last night. When I'm in the kitchen cooking, not anytime, but some, you chop stuff, have a little cutting board, chop and all that. I've probably done this about 6 times to my wife and 3 times to my kids. We'll be chopping. I'll head over and I'll get inside the fridge and I'll throw some ketchup on my hand and I'll put it in a fist. And then I'll chop. dang it. And then my wife or whoever's around was like, what? I'm like, can you get a Band-Aid? I cut myself, and then I open my hand up, and it's just dripping blood, right? But it's not blood. It's ketchup. And my wife, to this day, I swear to God, I pulled this on her 5 or 6 times in our marriage, 12 years. She still falls for it every single time. I don't do this on my kids. Huh?
She falls for it because she cares deeply about you.
I know,
and
what an idiot.
You getting hurt just blacks out her train of thought.
What an idiot. Caring. Don't care. I had to...
That's the lesson of today's show.
Thank you. Don't care. I had to pause doing this, though, to my kids because the last time I did it, my daughter started crying because she thought Daddy chopped off his finger. And it was really, and they'll be like, oh my God, are you okay? Daddy, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'll be like, oh, look at it, it's so, and then I lick my hand. And I'm bleeding ketchup. And I'm smiling. And, yeah. My son thought I was bleeding ketchup. So I kind of dumb like that. I'd be like, no, buddy.
Your son orders French fries, cuts his arm.
He's like, right in my gash. A lot of stuff going on today. Not really. There's not. Our top story is the Warriors won.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was all ready to be annoyed that we weren't going to talk about that at all.
It's a big game in the NBA, and I had to put it there.
What we need to talk about is something that I just saw on one of our favorite Talking Head shows. It was, how does this loss affect the rest of the Nuggets season?
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, will they recover? So that's how bad today is. Our top story is the Warriors beating the Nuggets.
Woo!
One of our other stories, one of our top 3 stories, is a kid getting a scholarship offer. The show today is going to be so bad that we're stealing the Lowdowns question of the day from yesterday and rehashing it today.
It's going to be the best segment of the show.
Like I'm telling you right now, normally I say strap in, tune in, turn on, no. Tune out.
I think today is a good day to
Don't
go
listen.
Listener production. 441140, it's Jiffy Lube text line. Fire us some questions.
Oh.
Let's spark a conversation.
An AMA. Listeners ask anything. That'd be
LAA.
We'll take a break. We'll take a break after the words from these sponsors. Unfortunately, not getting their money's worth on the show today. We'll be back in a few. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Bounce pass to Jokic. Hand off to Murray, stolen by Klay Thompson. Murray went the other way. Klay, fast break, goes in and dunks it with a right hand.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, Kyle.
Yeah.
But the Denver Nuggets, going into last night's game at home versus the Warriors, were a half game up in the toughest conference, one of the toughest conferences in NBA history.
They were.
Half game up on the Warriors for the 1 seed. And had won, I believe, 7 of 9. So they played last night. They hosted the Golden State Warriors. And I very specifically remember talking to you last night, I think it was or yesterday morning. It was in Morning Brew. And we noticed that the line in that game was even.
Mm-hmm.
And you expressed a little bit of surprise. And we talked about how you just don't know. Like the Warriors could lay an egg, or the Warriors could go in there, blow them out, and that there really probably wasn't going to be much of an in-between.
Mm-hmm.
We had this conversation yesterday. 51-38 Warriors after the first quarter. 10 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And a final score of 142-111. That is 253 combined points. And please keep in mind, your over-unders in NBA games, which is what both teams score combined, and you guess if they'll score more or less combined. The Kings-Blazers the other night was the highest over-under number in the league, and it was at 228, I believe. They're generally between 210 and 225, somewhere in there, let's say.
225 is a pretty steep line.
Pretty steep line. They scored 253 points. And the Warriors just went in there and executed the Denver Nuggets in every way, shape, and form when it came to basketball and everything associated with it.
It was the first time in a while that the Warriors have gone into a game and it was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like Granted, this is one game in the middle of January.
Sure it is.
And the Warriors scored 51 in the first quarter. They couldn't miss.
Nope.
And the Nuggets tried to climb back into it a couple times in the second quarter, and the Warriors would hit just a back-breaking three. And I think the Nuggets checked out at halftime.
Well, the thing is that they were outscored 12 in the second half, and that was better than what they were doing in the first half.
No, the Warriors put in no starters in the fourth quarter.
By the way, the Golden State Warriors get a multi-time reigning All-Star to debut for them this weekend.
Oh, that's right. That's this weekend.
They will roll out a lineup of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Theoretically,
I would assume. I don't think Cousins will be starting his first game back.
Sure.
But that I'm pretty sure long-term Cousins will be starting over Kevon Looney.
He should.
Yeah. This is just why I don't get insanely excited over championship things in the NBA.
Sure.
It's like everything else is cool. There's a lot of drama, and obviously my Kings are doing great. But when it comes to the NBA championship, this is what you're looking at, guys. 142-111. That's the team you're looking at.
Yeah, against the number one seed.
Yeah. In
Denver.
Well, later on in the program, we'll talk a little bit about that because I know people are saying, "Okay, the Warriors are great." Well, it was an important game. It didn't matter if it was the Warriors or not, but also a really weird night last night in the NBA.
Very strange.
A lot of scoring bombs.
It was the first night I had put League Pass on my smart TV deal there, so I could just pull the games up on the TV, and I couldn't find any good games. There were no good games last night.
That was kind of a double. Like, I have a smart TV.
I don't. I actually don't have a smart TV. I have to buy an additional device to attach to it to turn it into a smart TV.
I have a device that turns my TV into a smart TV, and I have NBA League Pass. Ooh, I'm Kyle.
I procured League Pass from someone else.
Third and goal at the 3, then empty set. Gets the snap. He's back. He throws a fade, and it's caught for a touchdown. Antonio Brown was wide open on that left side of the end zone.
You hear more and more stuff come out about Antonio Brown. None of it's, listen, let's be really clear. None of this is character assassinating for Antonio Brown. It's not like he committed a crime or did something horrific, but you're hearing more and more about Antonio Brown, and a picture is beginning to form, if you choose to believe it, that Antonio Brown is insanely talented and insanely good and a Hall of Famer. Also, Antonio Brown is not the same player he was when he was drafted as far as attitude goes, and is the prototypical wide receiver diva in the NFL. His ex-offensive coordinator, Bruce Arians, who since has won a Coach of the Year with the Arizona Cardinals and now is with Tampa Bay, said, quote, there's too much miscommunication, too much diva. I've heard so many stories. I like Antonio. He plays as hard as anyone on Sunday. He's just got to make better decisions off the field. It's starting to cloud the... I don't know, actually. I can't proclaim that, Kyle. I was just going to say it's starting to cloud the potential market for Antonio Brown, but then again, I don't know if it is.
Yeah, each team's going to make that determination on their own. I promise that if the Steelers called the Bucs and said, you can have Antonio Brown for a 6th-round pick, Arians is green-lighting that move.
Well, yeah, for a 6th-round pick. I guess the question is Antonio Brown's market, due to his perceived attitude, going to drop in comparison to what his market should be based on his skill set?
For sure. It will drop a little bit, but it is still, given the amount of teams that are going to be in the running for him, his market's still going to be substantial.
In four-down territory, we will address this as well as at 8:05 when we talk a little football. Number 3.
Patterson calling for the football. They fake it to Wilson. They're throwing the fade out to the side. It's caught! Touchdown, Michigan! Donovan Peoples-Jones, a little fade route, and the Wolverines take the lead.
My most lasting memory of 7th grade, I was thinking about this last night. My most lasting memory of 7th grade was when Kevin Lyman and myself were playing Sean Cotton and Shane Sullivan in a 2-on-2 basketball game. And we went up 6, and we knew the bell was about to ring, and that was our final buzzer. I sunk a shot, and I rolled, the ball came to me, and I rolled the ball to Sean, who was on the baseline getting ready to take it out, like, here you go, time's running out. I turned around to run up, because we were playing 2-on-2 full court. I turned around to run up the court, and as I turned around, the only thing I saw was a fist from Shane Sullivan that was already almost in contact with my right eye. I don't know if you've ever been punched in the bone beneath your eye, but
not pleasant.
It is excruciating. Yes, I got, people say anytime somebody gets hit, they say they got sucker punched, like, because they don't want to say. No, I literally was turning around to run up, and fist was already going. That's my biggest memory of 7th grade. Well, this kid, Isaiah Marshall, he got a scholarship offer to Michigan a couple days ago. He's in 7th grade, and Jim Harbaugh has offered him a scholarship. We're going to talk about this later. He's 13 years old. How does that even work? You're in 7th grade.
I think it's more like I don't know the exact rules, but I feel like it's more symbolic than anything.
But here's my thing. So if this kid...
Trying to get out in front of the recruiting trail and being like, hey, man, we were there from day 0.
Well, we got to talk about this later because we're out of time. But I have so many questions, dude. Like, I'm rooting for a kid, and I'm knocking on wood that no injuries, no nothing. He goes on, and he's a 5-star recruit and goes to the NFL and realizes his dreams. I'm truly rooting for that. But what if the kid's sophomore year finds, weed and girls, or he hates football, or can he still roll up like his, graduates high school and be like, I guess I'll play football?
No, because Michigan can
just
take
withdraw
that back.
it, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's committed here.
Right. It's a symbolic thing.
Could technically Jim Harbaugh offer me a scholarship and I could have a press conference?
No, because I think there's eligibility stuff that would...
I never played it down in college. I still have 4 years eligibility, Kyle.
No, I don't think you do.
I think... You're saying there's an age limit?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I keep my... No way, dude. Chris Winkie of Florida State was quarterbacking for Florida State. I want to say at 23, 24.
Yeah, Brandon Whedon was like 35.
So what's the cutoff?
I'm gonna find.
We
this
have to
out.
find this out because
we're
I believe.
researching this.
Hey, I'm telling you. Let's make it. I'm telling you right now. I still have 100% of my college football eligibility and basketball. I still have all of it. I could redshirt and have an additional 4 years. We'll find that out during the break. When we come back, let's look into these big numbers in the National Basketball Association. All right, now I'm waking up. Now that I know I have my college football eligibility, or I think I do, I'm waking up. We're back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, this is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings didn't play last night, and they missed out on a wild night in the NBA. The average margin of victory for last night's games was 28 points. The Pacers beat the Suns by 34. The 76ers stumped the Timberwolves by 42. The Hawks, they beat the Thunder by 16. The Atlanta Hawks ran up 142 points on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Bucks walloped the Heat by 38. The Warriors crushed the Nuggets by 31 in a game where they set an NBA record with 51 points in the first quarter. On the Lakers, fended off those pesky Bulls 107-100. Dave, remind me to tell you about how that game went last night.
Tell me how that game went last night.
Later. Okay. Remind me later.
All right.
LeBron James' return to the Lakers lineup will be delayed at least 2 more games. He won't be with the team on their road trip to Oklahoma City and Houston. James, though, has not been ruled out of the Lakers' Martin Luther King Day matchup with the Warriors. It's 6:37. Time now for the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Get tickets at sportsexpos.com. Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Short segment here. Port territory at 7:15. Kings leave for Charlotte today. We'll talk about that. Question going into the break. We got a lot of, we threw out an AMA today. Ask Us Anything. That would be an AUA. And Coach Molly has weighed in, Kyle, and that's all I need, unless you have something different. She says, hey, guys, Dave can play college sports as long as he hasn't attended any college at any time, hasn't taken a single college course. I got all, according to Coach Molly, I got all my years of eligibility left.
That's not true.
Wow. Going against Coach Molly, who's actually literally named Coach.
Oh.
Yeah, literally.
I didn't realize. I thought that was a nickname.
Nope.
I didn't know that.
First name Coach, last name Molly.
According to this website, which I
love this website. It's amazing.
It's on the internet. It's athleticscholarships.net.
Yeah.
There is an age limit for NCAA Division I and II sports.
Mm-hmm.
The NCAA allows a 1-year grace period after high school graduation for D1 and D2 schools. 1 year after your high school class graduates is when your eligibility will start to be affected in all sports except for hockey, skiing, and tennis.
That can't be right, though. I mean, think about it, though. We're missing something because we just talked about Chris Winkie, Brandon Wheaton.
Yeah, and you get players who go do like religious.
Yeah, Peace Corps, missions. That can't be right. I wonder if that's like you get a 1 year. That's after you start college or something. You see what I'm saying? Like that can't be possible. We're missing something there because there wouldn't those older players.
Yeah,
and you and I talked during the break too about what was some 38-year-old dude for.
But I think that was like a D3 school or an NAIA school.
Well, Winkie went to Florida State.
D3 school. Oh snap! Oh. Hey, so. Yeah, I don't know. I am going to track down somebody with actual knowledge of this.
Oh, wow. Coach Molly doesn't have knowledge.
I'm going to track down someone with actual knowledge of this to confirm what Coach Molly said.
Good save.
That's literally what I was going to say until I got interrupted.
Let me guess. You got to confirm it because Coach Molly's a coach, right? That's what's working here? Because she's a coach? Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Like, wow, coach, I noticed not an NCAA administrator. NCAA administrator, Molly.
I, for one, believe you, Coach Molly. Chris Winkie was in St. Paul, Minnesota, went to high school, was a 3-sport star. He was an all-state baseball player. He was drafted in the second round of the 1990 first-year player draft. He put his college career on hold and instead signed a contract to play pro baseball. Reported the Blue Jays.
Take notes, Kyler.
Although he was one step away from playing in the major leagues after the 1996 season, Winkie decided to give up professional baseball and took a scholarship at Florida State University. He entered FSU in 1997 when he was 25 years old. He entered FSU when he was 25 years old after rising through the ranks of professional baseball, which is also fascinating because wasn't he technically a professionally paid athlete?
Yeah.
Then went back to Florida State.
Brandon Wheaton did the same thing.
In 97. Kyle, in 96, he was a senior in 89 and began his Florida State football career as a freshman in 1997 after playing baseball. He was 25 when he started.
How weird.
He won a national championship in 1998, played his junior year in 1999. Yeah.
How strange. Hey, so can I tell you how this Lakers Bulls game ended last night?
Yes, please.
So the Bulls, the Lakers were favored by 7.5 points. So the Bulls were getting 7.5 or 8, depending on your book. The Bulls were down 9 with 12 seconds to go. Guy shoots a 3. Bulls shoot a 3. Miss. Offensive rebound. Kick out 3. Miss with 1.3 seconds left. Looks like the game's over, right? Wrong. He got fouled. Made 2 of the 3 free throws, and the Lakers win by 7.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That's painful.
Anyone with Lakers minus 7.5 last night.
That's actually great, though. Isn't that great? If you took the Lakers, you got screwed.
And why are the Lakers favored by 7.5 points after losing to the Knicks and Cavs at home?
Because Vegas. Let me just say, I got to be really careful here. I just got a text from a person that knows things.
Okay.
This is a person, I'll tell you during the break because I don't want to violate confidence, that absolutely would know about college eligibility requirements.
Okay.
Saying,
Is it Mr. NCAA?
I didn't want to say it was Fred NCAA, but I'm not saying it's not. Says, yeah, you got your eligibility as long as you didn't play. You got your, much like Chris Wake, you got your eligibility. So
That's wild.
I think what's great.
That's so weird.
So if I woke up tomorrow,
we need to find a college to give you a ceremonial scholarship.
If I woke up tomorrow morning and somehow during the course of the night, Jesus came down to my bed and touched my arm and turned it into a lightning bolt of a football cannon, I could walk on to, exactly, I could drive my van to Boise, walk onto the blue field, and lead Boise State to a national championship.
Well, you couldn't because the committee would never put Boise in the playoff.
Oh. Kyle Madsen, Dream Killer.
Hey-o!
Coming up next, more.
Why wouldn't you drive to Tallahassee, you dunce?
Dude, that's like 3,000 miles away. When we come back, that sounded terrible. Ugh.
That was you just falling apart at the seams.
I really am, dude. It's a bad day. When we come back, Kyle, we're going to do a little mini check-in on baseball. We haven't talked any baseball in a while.
We've talked no baseball since
in months.
Yeah, since the A's were eliminated.
So we have a real gross story from baseball. Seriously, no joking around. This thing kind of rocked my world when I read it last night. Also, the Giants make a new hire, and we'll tell you about the Red Sox travel plans. Just a little check-in on baseball, short segment before we get to the Kings at 7 a.m. right here on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK. Jeez, Kyle, terrible rejoiner choice. My goodness. That's all right. We'll get out of this. What a horrible rejoiner. I blame you. I was pausing. That's an inside joke. I was pausing. You got to make decisions as a host of a show. Sometimes, Kyle, you'll need this for when you're older and you're a very successful talk show host nationally. I got to talk about this story, but I didn't know whether to put it at the beginning of the segment, the end of the segment. Can't really put it in the middle of the segment. You put it at the beginning of the segment, you have to segue out of it. You put it at the end of the segment, you're leaving everybody with the story.
You have to right.
I'm just gonna get it out of the way. It has you have to say we have to say something about it.
Can I get my read in?
Please do
beforehand.
Please do.
Okay, because it's almost championship weekend.
It is.
I almost said it's almost football time.
Right.
And it's time to plan your football playoff party treats. Start at your local Sprouts Farmers Market and Sprouts.com.
It really shouldn't matter what I'm about to say in context of the story, but it's there. One of my favorite non-Giants players growing up was John Wetland. I love John Wetland. John Wetland with the Expos. It was in the early days of fantasy baseball. Dude, John Wetland was lights out. Lights out, man. Went on to play with the Yankees. Obviously, was the MVP of the 1996 World Series. Again, doesn't matter how good he was in sports and what I'm about to say. Because John Wetland has been charged in Texas with continuous sex abuse of a child under the age of 14. He was arrested Monday. He was freed on $25,000 bond. That's a different topic I'm not going to get into, but that seems awfully... In a story that doesn't
sound right.
No, it does not sound right. He lives in in a Dallas area suburb. According to the complaint, I don't even want to read this. I'm gonna edit this up a little bit, even though there's nothing illegal or not illegal. It's not like there's swear words or anything. I just don't really. At 6:53 in the morning, Wetland is accused of. He's accused of doing illegal things with a child beginning in 2004 when the child was 4 years old. Stay tuned. That is, what am I going to say? It's news. There you go. My God. One other note on Wetland that's in this article. In 2009, when he was on the Seattle Mariners coaching staff, authorities responded to a 911 call from his home in Texas. Media outlets reported Denton County authorities described the call as a mental health issue, saying Wetland was contemplating suicide. He issued a statement at the time that, quote, these circumstances leading to my elevated blood pressure and heart rate have been addressed. The Rangers, with whom Wetland has no current role, issued a statement Tuesday saying they have, quote, been made aware of this situation and have no further comments. Like I said, you go at the beginning and the end of the segment. I don't know how to segue out of that, so apologies, but that's obviously news, and about as disturbing a piece of news you're going to hear all day, whether it's in sports or out of sports. So I'm just going to blindly transition on. The San Francisco Giants have hired a pitching analyst to aid with training. Farhan Zaidi, the new president of baseball operations with the Giants, had promised that he would be a little more data-focused. He now has a more data-focused staff member. Matt Daniels was previously in Seattle as pitching coordinator of Driveline Baseball. He will join the Giants who just signed Derek Holland to a one-year deal as well. So some of the old school changing a little bit with the San Francisco Giants. That'll be interesting because they were very much an old school type team. And finally, the Boston Red Sox have made plans. They're going to knock it out early. They're going to travel up from Florida next month. Shortly after spring training starts, they will make a visit at the White House. It is not a mandatory trip, though. Most of the team and personnel is expected to attend.
They saw the spread at the Clemson dinner and thought they had to get up there.
Right. Everyone, all of a sudden, every team that wins anything wants to go to the White House.
Was that Szechuan sauce?
That'll be interesting. God forbid we're still in a government shutdown next month. But what do you do there? Can you even repeat the fast food thing? The president's there just making sandwiches. You just see him at the table.
He's like
making PB&J,
baked potato bar.
He just makes a big pot of chili.
Hey, if I roll into a gathering and they say, "Hey, took it easy on food or made it easy on food," it's a baked potato bar. I'm in.
I'm a huge fan of baked potato.
Give me a baked potato bar and like some cookies for dessert, and I'm a happy camper.
We got a break.
Yeah, we do.
I'll throw this back at you, Kyle. If you're ever having a bunch of people over, if you want a fairly cheap yet fun way.
So help me God, if you tell me to dump a can of chili over a brick of cream cheese.
I've already said that. You can feed about 20 people for about $30 to $40 doing this.
Okay.
You pick your chain. You make a sandwich bar. Breads, meats, cut up the vegetables, lay them all out on plates. Go to a store and get those little 99-cent squeezy bottles. Put oil and vinegar, and then put a salt and pepper shaker there.
Sure.
People can just roll up. They make their own sandwiches. The whole spread for like 20 people costs maybe $30, and people love it. Love the ability to own their own sandwich. Really, what you're doing is saying, "Hey, come over and make your own food," but you're making it fun and festive.
Right.
All right. That'll be on the Drive Pinterest page very, very soon. The Kings leave for Charlotte today. Rumors yesterday, Jeremy Lin on the radar. We'll tell you a little bit about that. And does that fill the Kings' biggest need? Does that fill a need at all? Talk about that next on The Drive.
Can he play the three?
Sports 1140. Can he rebound? KHTK.